Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking around. It means a lot that you guys keep playing. If you guys keep looking, I'll keep making. And today we're recapping this past episode. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was an improvement. I think this season is starting to feel good to me. Definitely better than the past two. And as long as nothing goes seriously wrong, I'm pretty happy. This episode for me, the main theme was just brutality, and I loved it. Right, it felt like reality TV. There was conflict galore all over the place, which is something that this new era of Survivor, specifically this whole 26-day season Survivor, kind of lacks, is that conflict, because people aren't as each other but of each other. But here we saw a bunch of conflict in so many different ways. So maybe I'll just keep like a conflict counter throughout this video. I think that's the biggest thing with this episode that I love. Let's get into it. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because it's free, it's easy, and it really helps the channel out. Okay, so we open up the episode on Vessi, and basically Cody comes back and says it was tough to blindside NECA, and that was his #1 ally. But now that this Vessi tribe, especially with it being down to 4, needs to come together, unite, and not be divided, into like these two duos as far as alliances goes, in order to win challenges and not like wither down to 2 people like Ua did from 2 seasons ago. We now move over to the yellow tribe, the Baka tribe, where Gabler and Ellie are having a fight. It's kind of just about like wood, very, very stupid, but it's mainly because of the fact that Gabler knows Ellie and Janine went through his bag and his stuff to find out specifics of his advantage, and also the fact that Ellie really doesn't like respect Gabler at all as a player or really a person. We then move to a reward challenge, which has kind of a twist, right? The winner gets this platter of fish, but they're raw. And on top of that, the winning tribe gets to raid the other 2 tribes' camps for past, reward supplies, and also like the machete and just anything, the pot, it doesn't matter. So the old school twist is back, and I love it. The tribe who wins it is actually Vessi. Surprisingly, they come together and look great as a tribe physically. They decide to trade in the 10 fish reward for a past reward of fruit, because they can't cook those fish right now because they have no fire and no flint. And then as far as which camp to raid, they decide to go after that blue tribe's camp, just because they have the most numbers. They probably see themselves teaming up with that yellow tribe at the merge, and they want to weaken the biggest tribe here in Coco. And so they go over to that Coco tribe, and Cody wants to take their machete. Now, of course, the red tribe already has a machete, so there's no gain for them, but it just hurts the blue tribe. I mean, not having a machete is such a giant thing. You can't cut coconuts, you can't like make fire. It's so hard to do so many things. I mean, I guess you could make fire, but it's a lot harder. It demoralizes the entire camp, and Cody wants to do that. He wants to play more cutthroat, whereas everyone else on his tribe just wants to take more like supplies and food or whatever, and not hurt the other teams, because they want to keep those relationships open at the merge. Probably the smarter move, but of course not as fun. So they, of course, send Cody over. Kind of stupid, but they just happen to do it because Cody allows them, and the rest of them don't want to look bad. So they send Cody over, and Cody's like, maybe I should just do it my way and take the machete. So he gets over to the blue tribe's camp. He's very friendly, and he's a salesman himself, so he's very charming. And he tells them, hey, I want to take your machete, which is his idea. But his plan is to tell them that first, and then get them shocked and say, no, you can actually have all this stuff, but not our machete. And it works. They basically give him a bunch of good stuff, and then at the end he even asks for some limes, and they say, yeah, sure, as long as it's not our machete, we are all good. And Cody ends up kind of walking out like a bandit, and Carla sees this and says that he basically just swindled their tribe, and that they were way too friendly with him. This is a good scene for Cody, and shows him being like conniving in a pretty smart way, while still being liked by the people who he's lying to. Usually I skip over the immunity challenge details, but this was a pretty fun. Again, it adds to this theme of being cutthroat and conflict happening. And so what happens is the Vessi tribe finishes first. Shocker, they're doing really well without NECA at these challenges. But they now watching the other two tribes fight for second place and also immunity help the yellow Baka tribe, the tribe with less numbers. So it's clear that Vessi and Baka have some sort of bond going on here that Coco is not sharing with them. And it ends up working. Baka wins and Coco goes to tribal. The Coco tribe is very salty, saying that, wow, cheating, like that's cheating, like they didn't earn it. But in the end, there's really no rules for survivors. So they just got played. Coco gets back to camp, and Gio, Ryan, and Jay get together, of which these strategical leader, and he says, let's blindside Cassidy. He wants to blindside Cassidy because he doesn't trust her. He thinks that she's a threat. He also thinks that she's pretty annoying overall, and she feels the exact same way about him. So Gio gets both his two boys together and says, let's blindside Cassidy. They say great. But obviously Ryan, his main ally, is on board for sure. Not so much James, and that's the biggest issue. James is in tight with these girls, and James votes with both Carla and also wants to vote with Cassidy, and they're very tight along with Lindsay. That four of the three girls plus James is very, very tight. And from here, we see those four decide to just blindside Gio. It's a big blindside, and they want him gone. Very simple. It's 4 versus both Gio and Ryan, which is what we thought would have happened. So it's very basic numbers. But the issue is Lindsay then, after this plan is made and she keeps seeing people go off and strategize, which is obviously what happens, Lindsay gets so paranoid. Like, you like 10-minute edit of her just being so paranoid. She's sitting there like contemplating the entire game, like, who's betraying me? And then she goes to her allies and said, who's lying to me? And again, she has no like specific evidence of this happening, but just a gut feeling. She's just getting very paranoid. She even has to have her main ally in James come to her and comfort her and tell her that, dude, you're like freaking every single person out in your alliance, including Carla and Cassidy. And it's causing this weird like shift where nobody really trusts you at all. And it's very weird because the vote was on Gio, but now Carla and James are considering flipping on their main ally in Lindsay because of how paranoid she's getting. She's sitting there like about to cry, saying, oh my god, guys, if you betray me, please. She's like freaking out in her own head, and they're all telling her, calm down. James is saying, dude, you're gonna get yourself voted out being so paranoid. And it's just chaos. It's absolute chaos. And she finally says, okay, I'm gonna calm down. I trust you guys. They go to tribal. They talk more about that paranoia, and she says, I've calmed down. I'm sorry. They go to the vote. Gio votes for Cassidy, and everybody else votes for Lindsay. They all flip on Lindsay after comforting her about her being paranoid because she was being paranoid. They said it was just too much, and every single person except for her and Gio voted for her. Gio voted for Cassidy, and she voted for Gio. Brutal blindside to cap off a conflict-filled episode between Carla and Cody, between Ellie and Gabler, between all of the tribes, and also really between Gio and Cassidy, and in the end, it hurts Lindsay. A great episode, very solid, and an improvement definitely on this new era. Thanks for watching. As always, none of this happens without you guys. I'm just a weird guy speaking a weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's what I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.